Hello and welcome to Cutter Builds. We're back with another episode of Edgewater, Saskatchewan, and today we got some spraying to do. I've gone ahead and purchased the spraying attachment for our sprayer. This has got the See & Spray on it. If we jump into the store here real quick, you can see this is the bit that's going to allow precision farming to do its thing, where it turns the nozzles on and off, and we're going to use a lot less herbicide and have the added bonus of getting a much better precision farming score. Now, in order to use this, we're going to have to actually purchase this case trident here. We've got it leased right now. Just looking at the store here real quick, I think with how we had it spec'd out, it was going to be $325,000 to purchase it outright. I'm kind of curious to see what bit of discount we're going to get on this since we've leased it and made some payments on it. If I go ahead and hit purchase, yeah, it's only $295. So this is using the lease to own mod, which has been kind of cool. And actually, before I buy that, I know it's going to reset things, dump the dry box off and such. Let's go ahead and get this out of the shed and put this dry box somewhere to store it. I'm thinking about back here. And the reason that I have to purchase this and end the lease is I forgot, if I want to change my tire options, I have to own the vehicle. I can't change tire options on a leased vehicle here. Is this going to fit under there? It will. All right, perfect. So let me get lined up just a little bit better, and we'll go ahead and get this thing off of here. All right, that should do it. We're going to just toss it in here like so, and let's go ahead and buy this. There we go, and I should be able to come in here and change my tire options now. Do I need dual tires on here is the real question. I could do something like that maybe. Maybe that's what I'll do. And I'm going to change this over to a liquid system display. And we should be able to do that. It looks like that's going to cost me all of $500, probably because I'm changing to a whole new brand of wheel and everything. That's all right. We'll go ahead and spend that money and hop in here. There we go, looking good. Let's get that sprayer boom up on here now. And we will figure out how to get some herbicide sprayed on these fields. We've got a lot of weeds popping up all over the farm right now. And I think this is going to make really quick work of it. All right, we've got that all attached. It looks much better with a boom on there and the dual tires. It was looking kind of awkward before, so I'm happy to say we're all good to go here. And we've got, I think, 2 pallets of herbicide left in here from our previous season. I'm hoping it's still going to be good, but I'm not sure if I can load in there or not, so I'm going to pull forward. I think I need to bring the herbicide out right over onto this side to get everything filled up. Luckily, we've got our Bobcat all set up and ready to go with the pallet forks on here and everything. Get this scooped up. This one's not even full, unfortunately. That's all right. We'll see how far this gets us. I don't think it's going to take a lot to spray some of our fields, especially with the See & Spray mechanics on here. We're going to do just the amount of spraying that we need. However, we do have a few of the fields that have just an absolute ton of weeds. So let's see if I can put the forks down and not impale our chemical tank here. Now, I know I've picked this up, but I'm not seeing a fill percentage here. Oh, because I didn't get the forks in the pallet, apparently. Well, let's just drop that off there. We'll be pleasantly surprised, hopefully, with how much we have. I'm assuming that one's a full tank. And let's fire it up and see what we got. Oh yeah, we've got tons of herbicide here. All right, good deal. So I think what we should do is probably spray our fields in the order in which they were planted. So I'm going to run out here and we're going to start with our winter wheat because I feel like those weeds are the biggest. And this field should be a quick and easy field to spray. Now it's going to be next to impossible to see where we've sprayed with this thing. Luckily, the spot spraying mechanics should help me out with this. This thing's got a really nice hydraulic whine to it when it's unfolding. I like that. Very nice. I have to zoom out a bit here so I can see that whole boom. My goodness, this is a large implement. And I don't have access to this land. I'm probably just in the ditch a little bit. There we go. All right. Well, now we're off to the races, and it's really going to come down to just spraying where I see the weeds, because I can't really tell on the ground where we've sprayed. And I guarantee we're going to run into a few trees with this thing. Hopefully I can manage to get used to the width of this boom, but we'll see. By the time we're done spraying all of our fields, I might just be starting to get there. But looking at some of these, like, what am I supposed to do here? Just kind of get the boom over there, I suppose, and then back up. There's no way to get the whole machine into some of these turns and divots. This is really the other reason I wanted to run the more advanced sprayer here, is to be able to handle the fact that these fields are just not easy to get around in. I could use a smaller spraying setup, I suppose, but we'd be here all day. And we almost went we almost went into that ditch. We definitely went into that ditch. I wonder if these things have breakaway arms. So I collide with the tree with the that arm, but the very far out arm, is this got a collider on it as well? It does. Okay. In real sprayers, a lot of times those last arms have springs on them, so if you bump into something as you're running, they'll just bend back. It's obviously not ideal to run into things. However, it does happen, especially with big equipment like this. It's hard to see where your boom is at as an operator. I'm not even hitting you. And the good news is we're going to end up making like a single headland pass on this field and be done with 80% of the field. This is not going to take long at all. I'm missing a handful of weeds on the very edges here. We went into the ditch again. So I might as well attempt to hit these little middle segments like so. I think we've got everything back behind that, I don't know, I'll call it a land bridge. And over here, I'm trying to just make sure the boom extends off the edges of the field a little bit to get all the weeds. We've got plenty of room here, plenty of room. This is very likely an oversized implement for the field that we're in right now. But I'd rather have an implement that's a little bit too big than one that's too small. And just like that, we've done one headland pass, and I think the only thing I've got to do is a little tiny bit of cleanup here. You can see a couple of weeds that made it through. We're going to just pass through the middle of this wheat field, let the computer figure out which bits we missed, and just like that, we're all done. My goodness, that was no time at all. Well, we're gonna get all folded up here and just bounce on over to the next field. Is this our lentils here or our peas? Man, I can't remember. Let's take a look at the map real quick. Yep, these are indeed our lentils right across the road here, which means the peas are on the other side. We'll jump over here. I think I've got a driveway down here on the other end. It'll be easier to get into with this big machine than trying to drive through the yard. And I think what I'm going to do, since I'm already facing this way, is we'll take the headland up, pass around the top of the field here first, and then we'll come back down along the fence in the straight rows. Everything's all set up. Get the sprayer running. Oh, very nice. I could get used to this. We're spraying in style now. I do wish there were more mods that were set up appropriately for precision farming spraying like this. As far as I know, this is the only of the big self-propelled sprayers that have been converted over yet. I'd love to see Custom Modding's John Deere sprayer get the precision farming treatment. We might just have to do that for our UMRV save. We've got a John Deere farm running over there. Luckily, this farm knows no brand loyalty, so we're able to use this wonderful sprayer by, is it Cesarius Modding? I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, but this has been an awesome mod. We've been using it on our multiplayer servers as well. All right, looks like we're gonna be ending up right back in the farmyard once I get turned around here. This will be the last bit of this field. I'm pretty sure I can handle it in a single pass. We won't need to come back down here. If I just get spun around here. There's a little bit back there that I didn't get. Let me go grab that before we run down here. It'll bug me if I don't. I know there's like 5 weeds over here. Right there. Got them. It's so much fun to watch the individual spray heads just pop on and get the weeds. And there we go. We're all done with this field. I'm gonna move us over to hit the peas next, I think. And realistically, I suppose I should be, adjusting the height on this machine when we're spraying. I could lower it down a little bit. We'll try that on the next field. Yeah, I raised that left arm up in the middle of folding it. Now it's all janky and it won't let me fold it back down. Hopefully when I unfold it here again, it'll let me put that arm down. All right, get that nice and leveled back out. And I forgot I can widen out my stance on the sprayer a little bit. That looks good. And I can drop this whole thing down a bit. So let's do that so we're not spraying so much up in the air. Good deal. And I'm trying to think, which way do I want to go here? Let's back up and I'll start doing the run around by the creek first. It looks like the sprayer might be just a little low. We're going to raise it up a smidgen. I have to say, spraying at 22 miles an hour, I'm just flying through this field. It's a little bit hard to fine-tune the controls here at this speed. I should probably slow down a little bit on some of these curbs, but I just love going so fast. All right, we're doing good here. As far as the farm goes, really, we're at a stage on this farm at least where there's not a lot that goes on in the summer. We're waiting for, I believe, July to sell off our crops. That's when I think we've got, peas and lentils left in the bins. And those will both be ready at some point in July here. Looks like I've got just a single pass left here in the area up here. Let me just take this down to the end of the field, I think. If I take a quick look at our time-saving stock check, we've got, peas and lentils left, and they're both ready in July to be sold. So I'm keeping my eye out for that. I can't wait to get the rest of our crops out of the bins and sold off. That's going to allow us to pay down a little bit more of the debt, get some more land next year. We just spent a good chunk of money to get this sprayer purchased so that we could, use it as a sprayer and not just as a spreader. I think this was a really good purchase for the farm because it's increasing our productivity by a lot here. We're able to cover a lot of acres very quickly. And if I look here at the list, we'll get, 95,000 or so. That's going to feel nice in the bank. And just like that, we're all done with the lentils now as well. The only thing left on the farm, if I'm not mistaken now, is our large canola field here to the north. And that's not quite ready to spray yet. We've got to wait just a little bit before we can jump over there with the sprayer. Let me Just come out into the field and double check. Everything looks good. And I'm really curious to see how well we're able to harvest this field with course play and such. I think it'll be pretty nice. The one thing I wish I'd done that we didn't do was separate this field. So I joined these two fields together, which I think is a big win for us. But somebody had suggested that I come up here by the trees and actually separate it here so that this big curvy bit is one field and this one is another. I think that would have been a really good idea and would have made generating a course play course on this field a lot more performant. So next year, I think we're definitely going to do that. We're going to run with it this year just to try it out. And all of the weeds out here all killed off. Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a pretty good spot. If I look at our calendar, we don't have any harvesting starting for our wheat until August. Canola is going to be even later than that, and peas and lentils are in August as well. So really, we're going to be moving time forward here to July and seeing if we can sell some crops off here. All right, so we're moving through the time scale here. We're into June now, which I said the best time to sell was July. But I'm already seeing that our value here on our lentils is coming up pretty high here, pretty close to the maximum value that we've seen it at. So I think we might actually try to grab a load here and bring things up to the elevator. I've got the time ticking here a bit still. I had things set up to unload our peas out of the bins first, but I think I'm going to move this over a bin. And we're going to grab those lentils and see if we can get them taken up here, at least get everything into the train station. And we're going to take another look at things and see what it looks like once I get to the station, if things are still on the rise or if we should take our chances and wait till July. I've definitely seen that the time on those screens can be a little bit off time to time. And I don't want to put the lentils in there. I think the back hopper's actually a bit smaller. I'm going to put them back there, and we will load up peas in the front hopper here. Just keeping a look out on things. Man, that price is still going up. It's looking great. And I know people have mentioned that the train has some issues if you've used it once. Whoops, we're not a non-standard trailer here. I know people have mentioned if you've used the train once, that it will not work a second time. So I'm going to put that to the test. I haven't had a chance to mess around with it at all. Yeah, this is just not going to work. I've made a royal mess of things. So let's pull this out. I'm going to have to pull it around and back in again. I have to say, getting things lined up to unload into a truck is so much easier than trying to get things into the bin. Here we go. Peas it is. Now it's not showing me the lentils because we already taken them out of the bin. So if I hop over to this screen is actually telling me that June is the best point to sell, not July. July is where it's going to drop back down here. And our current price is at $138. Well, that seems pretty good to me, given that the recommended high point is 117. So if on the off chance that I can't sell them on the train, honestly, the fast food restaurant here is selling at a really good price. I can't bring all the peas up with me, but we can get a fair amount of them. So let's go ahead and run this up here and see what I can do to get a train. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it to get the train for such a small amount of lentils, so I might need to send both crops up there is kind of what I'm thinking. That's why I'm hesitant to jump on that train price. But 20 bucks a bushel more is worth a little bit of hassle. We've got 263 bushels, so that would be, you know, what is that, 404,000 and something odd extra dollars. That's worth a little bit of a hassle. And the train only costs $1,000 an hour, I think. So we'll definitely make that back if we can get it working. Now, if I remember correctly, the rail station is the same as the sell point here. We're just on the left side instead of the right side. Or maybe I'm wrong. Hang on here. Let's hop out for a moment. Yep, there's two icons in there. That's the rail station side. We don't want to accidentally sell all of our crops off at the wrong spot. And while that's unloading, let me just check this. Our pea price is starting to come up here. The train is at $46. We're honestly not that far off of the max value on peas as well. So we're going to kind of keep an eye out for that. I mean, the recorded high level is 41 here. So we're running above the averages a little bit no matter what we do. And much like the lentils, again, this says June as the high point on here. So I'm not sure why we would wait for July. We're going to go ahead and just get this all dumped out. And as soon as I get the rest of my peas up here, we're going to sell the crops on the train here if we can. The other thing we probably need to do is get out there and spray that canola field. I almost forgot about that, to be honest. I was like, we're all done spraying. I even put the sprayer back up in the garage because I was just not even thinking about it. And we've actually got a whole another massive field to spray here. My bad. Alright, let's get this pulled through. I don't think I've got that many peas left in here. Yeah, 10,000 liters. It's almost not even worth the trouble to drive it up there, but that's alright. Oh no, 10,000 liters. That's a lot more than I was thinking it was. 280 bushels of peas. Alright, well, let's get this all tarped up. We're going to send it back up to the sell point. Did I add a train doohickey here? I did not. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, let me send it up here to the bulk fill. That's the same station. We'll check in on it again here as it gets closer. That's just going to save us some time and allow me to jump back in here to the sprayer. And we're going to take this out to the canola field and see if I can knock that out real quick. Barely fitting down here. It's a lot tighter than I thought it was gonna be. We've managed to make almost a full round here on the headland passes, and I have to say we're almost done with this field, as big as it is. This sprayer is a monster. I'm loving it. Let's see if I can stay out of the trees over here, though. It's a smidge tight. I actually ran the boom over top of the fence a bit to get through that area. That's all right. And quite honestly, I think after we do the headland pass, we're going to have one more time around the field to clean up the little areas that we missed. And we're pretty much done with this. I'm surprised. I'm also worried about my truck right now. I think we had it on the wrong mode when I sent it up to the seed refill point. But luckily, we got stuck on the building and it didn't end up dumping anything out here. I always forget to check auto drive and make sure it's in the go to point mode when I just want to send it somewhere. So I'm super glad that we didn't make a mess in here. Not that there's anywhere to dump at the bulk fill seed point. So I think the semi would have just stopped up here and not gotten into too much trouble. But as long as I'm here checking in on it, I'll go ahead and get this emptied out into the train, and then we can finish up that spraying. There's not a lot left to do with it. I really want to get our crops sold this episode, though, and see how much money we're going to end up with. Get the peas all dumped out here. There we go. And actually, I'm going to leave this here for a minute, and I'm going to run across the road here. I think that's where the train renting is. Ooh, the train is coming right now, actually. And if I push R, I can rent the train. I think it's braking for me here. Perfect. All right, well, we've managed to rent the train. Let's get her started up and back this thing up. We've got to get it off of the roadway here quickly so that we can hopefully not block up the traffic for too long. We went too far, didn't start braking soon enough. I am a no locomotive driver, that's for sure. All right, I'm gonna load up peas. And I just want to take a look here and make sure we're in a good spot. Peas and lentils are both at really good spots. Price-wise, if I look at peas, we're at 46. The recommended was 41. You know, I'm going to run with this. I think it's a good deal. I'm going to move forward here, and we're going to grab the next car for our lentils. Nope. There we go. Lentils it is. Let's go ahead and get this train sent off to sell all of our crops here. We should make a pretty penny here. I can't remember what the overall value was. Did I say $95,000-ish is what we were expecting to get off of this? So as long as I make somewhere in that 90-95 range, it'll all be worth it. I'm not sure where that wage payment's coming from. Boom. There it is. 90,000 plus an $8,642 environmental score bonus. Very nice. We are making lots of money now. We just need to run back over here to town and grab our semi. I'm digging having all that money, so that means it's probably a good time to pay down some of that loan. Maybe we'll swing by the bank on the way up to the farm and go ahead and make a deposit. We're at a $300,000 loan now in the bank, and I've got a few dollars left over to have in the bank account for whatever we might need it for. Feeling pretty good about that. Let's go ahead and grab auto drive here. I'm going to tell this to head on back up to the farmyard, and I should be able to just hit the button and let it go. And back out here to the spraying. I've got not a lot left to do here in this field, thankfully. I have to say, I know I tend to gravitate towards the green machines, but this thing has been an absolute blast to drive this episode. I'm liking it a lot. I know I used it as a spreader in the live streams we've been doing on Western Australia at one point, and had a lot of fun with it on there. But as a sprayer, this thing is just a lot of fun. And we're not using hardly any herbicide as we go through and tackle this field. Mostly thanks to the spot spraying mechanics with precision farming. So I'm really happy. I thought we were going to have some more input costs with all these fields and spraying the herbicide. But no, we're all good for the year. In fact, at this rate, we're going to have enough probably to do most of next year as well, which is always a good feeling to know that you've got all the product you need to jump in and get a job done. I'm looking at all of these sections, trying to make sure there's no bits and pieces that got missed in any of the, I call them curvy bits, the inlets in the field. I'm making sure I get all of the little spots on this field here. This is a single pass that we had left up here. I think there might be a little bit of weeds down there in the bigger spot of that field. Part of me wants to run the tillage through and take this little bit of the curve out, bring it up closer to the stream. I need to remember to do that in the fall here after we're done with harvest. There's a few areas where I think if I got the tillage out and we use the create fields capability, I could make these fields just a little bit easier to manage by taking some of the curve out of a few places. I'm going to hit this spot one more time. It looks like I missed a few weeds when we came back in here, probably because I was running into the trees. And now I just need to get back over to the side by the field entrance there and take the weeds out of that middle section, and we're all done. Man, we covered a lot of acres today with this sprayer. I'm impressed. Always worth taking one last glance around, make sure I didn't miss anything anywhere, but it looks good. It looks like we've got a clean field now. We just squeezed through here. It's tight, but we made it. So we'll turn the sprayer back on and I think just tackle these in an up and down fashion here. Should be able to knock this out in a single round is my guess. Oh, I'm gonna miss like 5 weeds over there. Unfortunate. Oh well, we'll get them on the final pass. I've got to get back up to the farmyard anyway, so no time lost really. And it looks like our semi has made it home as well. Everything's coming to a close here all at once. We got all of our spraying done for the summer here. We got all of our crops sold off, so the bins should be empty. We might put up one more bin here before the fall just to hold another crop type. We do have 4 crops on the farm right now, and it'll be nice to hold all of those until the optimal time to sell them off. So we might find a spot to put one more small bin in the yard. I'm not sure where exactly, but we're about to head right back into harvest season here pretty quick. This went really fast this time, partially because we did live stream the previous episode when we were seeding out our canola, because I missed the video day because I was, well, I think I was sick, so we're still recovering here a bit. Oh my goodness, we bumped the semi, but my voice is thankfully holding out more or less for an episode here. We've been getting over a bit of a head cold, so I do apologize if I sound a little bit funny at the moment, but I'm excited to be back to the videos. I'm excited to be getting through the spraying and everything here so quickly. This episode, I kind of thought this would be a multi-episode event like a lot of our jobs are, but things are really moving and grooving on this farm. I'm ready to really start expanding. I think we've got the equipment now with this big sprayer to start handling bigger fields. We got the very large Bourgault drill over here with the tractor upgrade. So this year has been all about improving our equipment on the farm. I think next year is going to be about snatching up as much land as I can. I have now fixed the field lease mod, so it will charge me an appropriate amount per month as opposed to the 4x amount that it was charging before with our multi-day seasons. So I'm going to get that mod running again on this save, and I think we'll end up actually just leasing a bunch of fields to really expand our empire. I don't know, we might go all out and get a couple of these bigger fields over here like field 5 and field 8. Part of me wants to see if I can just combine these into one massive field and tackle that. We may end up actually grabbing the lease on these before harvest time just so that I can steal the crops off of there. Kind of a cheesy thing to do a little bit maybe, but let's be honest, we want to make some money. I want to get some more fields and yeah, see some more parts of the map here. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, hit that like button, helps me out a lot. Subscribe for daily farm sim content. That's all for today. Ketterk out.